so we'll move on to the template. So this is kind of the part 2 of the slides, and it's only a couple slides here. We've talked about this before, but over the past week since we've met, there's new templates that are dropping in. I've been calling it like higher dimensional awareness, expansion of consciousness that's been happening. It's coming in as different gifts and abilities as well too, which has been really interesting. I'm not the only one. Other people have kind of confirmed that they've been receiving different things. It's not like, for me, it was like a psychic upgrade, and then I'm getting stuff that's coming to me out of the field versus me having to go into the field and call it, but it's been, or like call it in or channel it. Some people are getting clear abilities opening up for them that weren't previously there. The gift of sight is coming in for some people. Others are receiving like actual upgrades to their DNA, to their energetic, it's on the next slide, but to their, basically the energetics of their body itself. So, and then what I wrote here on the left is just kind of a rehash of some of the slides, but this is how I'm seeing it energetically in friends or clients that I'm looking, using during like a Reiki healing. This is how it's kind of coming through, and this is some of the areas that are catching my attention. The outer auric field in particular has been really interesting. It looks like folded sacred geometry that's dropping in, that's coming in. Sacred geometry, but also sacred geometry that's like folded in particular, especially the very outer layers. So we have like all the layers of the aura that are known and labeled. And then I wrote in here like the new auric field layers are the exo layers, is what I'm calling them. And then even recently we channeled in, as of a few weeks ago, this clear layer that I'm calling it. It's clear with like some gold stardust in it, gold little flecks in it. And that's kind of like what we've been labeling as like the 0 point layer or clear layer, and it's interdimensional. So it isn't just like here with your physical body, because your auric field extends out anywhere from 4, 6, 12 feet. You could probably push it out even further than that energetically. But this layer is like a new, it's interdimensional. And shout out to Sharon for her photo too, which is a really Golden Elven Codex. I really love this photo by Sharon. And then, so these are the new templates that came in, dropped in the last week. You may be experiencing different templates, or calling in different templates, or intentioning different templates, or seeing it differently, or feeling it differently. So don't get hung up on what I wrote here. I'm just bringing to you, this is what dropped in the last week that we've been channeling. And when I say we, it's not just me. I'm just the only one that happens to be on the call currently. There are other people that I'm working with and channeling with who are seeing this. They're just not here. So I'm just saying we, for the purposes of being respectful. It's like a perfect thirds triad trine frequency, and it came through, and I'll share with you the way that I saw it. As I closed my eyes, settled into the session, and when I opened my eyes, so I'm just attuning to the calibration of the session. I'm not even like in the Reiki healing portion of it yet. I'm just literally attuning to the field of that session. And I opened my eyes both times, and what appeared in front of me is 3 different versions of the person, but they were color frequencies. So it was like, you could imagine their face and their body as like red or pink, blue and yellow. So there's 3 versions of them, like, had stepped forward. And I saw it twice on 2 different people energetically. I saw 3 different versions of them. These 3 colors, it's like red / pinkish. It just depends. You maybe even fuchsia, but I'm just getting you ballpark. Blue and yellow for the other 3. And what I took that as, somebody else confirmed, so there's a separate confirmation of this specific template that wasn't the 2 that I saw. A third person confirmed that she had this anchor into hers, and she saw it very similarly. Not exactly sure like I mean, triad, trifecta, perfect thirds means a lot to a lot of people. It could be divine feminine, masculine child. It could be like your highest self, um, the frequency of pure consciousness, and highest purest essence. That's another triad. That's like different versions of your higher self. Um, so I just wanted to kind of name that. We anchored a template literally last week for our community. Um, it was around like we were channeling specifically like about time, galactic time. We anchored that as like a community template, which was very, very powerful. That was on the Thursday call last week. Some of the stuff that came through here, and your template can look different and feel different than this. I actually had a template come in 2 weeks ago that was not this. It's not the perfect thirds. It was just a higher dimensional template. I don't have like a fancy name for it. But I anchored a different higher dimensional template. And the channeling that's come through, the emphasis has been specifically on purity, and maybe Janvier could chime in or whoever and talk, like give us a little pep talk in just a second on what purity means to you. Because I know my version of purity, everybody has their own version of purity, but specifically they said that during this time frame where we're receiving the upgrades, we're receiving the energetics and the architecture, the crystalline architecture, the energetics and the template upgrades, purity is very important. Purity, and for me it's in every aspect, but specifically the energetic field that you're holding, the people that are in your field, the people that you allow to your field, the people that you're receiving healings from, or you're receiving readings from. All of those matter specifically for purity for me. I mean, purity can also mean many other things as well too. So yeah, maybe we could just, if somebody wanted to talk specifically, or feel free to unmute if you had something specifically about purity that you felt aligned to share with our community.
Yeah, well, for me,
Okay, I'll
pure.
share.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Genevieve.
Yeah. Well,
Genevieve.
for me is not about like pure or being like in a high frequency. Of course, it can't lead you to a higher frequency, but I think like purity is like reducing the noise, to have like the it's like if you look into a lens and it's blurry or it's dirty or there's so many things like in front of it, you won't see clearly. So for me, the purity is like to just yeah, to get as much possible noise out, so you can have like the yeah the purest perception of and feeling and everything in all of your clairs, but also in your body, in your thoughts, in the way that you speak, the way that you make contacts with others also. So for me, it's more like that. Yeah. Thank you.
As we chime in with what Genevieve was saying, it is not just what we perceive, what we receive. It also what we partake in daily life, what we ingest through food, air, right? Especially water, what we drink, living water. So living being. Um, the saying of it might be crass, but the scent of death that's within our being is what we've been ingesting throughout this whole lifetime, right? So be mindful of what we feed our body, what we feed our mind, what we feed our soul. And when we are, I'm noticing this is a trend, and a lot of people in the community is they'll be getting a card reading from one person. And it's like, okay, hmm. Let me go to this other person. It is so easy when we're in the TikTok and the social media. Oh, so and so giving a reading. Let me jump in. It's opening the portal to open for any entity, for any being to just come in and perverse in a way of our distort our perceptions, our thoughts, right? And it seeps into our soul. So we get to be more mindful when it comes to that and the purity of it. And then when we feel a click with a community, for example, with this community that is weaving through with JJ's and Nexus, keep that circle tight, keep that channel flowing tight. So we get a clear understanding, wholesome understanding of what the message is for our whole body. That's when it comes to purity for me. But that's just my take. And with that, I'm complete. Thank you.
I want to share what it's coming to me is, and I really appreciate what everyone's been saying. It's helping me think of what it is, like what resonates. For purity is pure in heart is what keeps coming to me, is like a without guile, I've been on a path to free myself from organized religion and just, be like Christ consciousness, like embrace the goodness and all the good things of that and that vibration and see it for good. And so like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, how you can tell when you meet people, are they pure in heart? Are their intentions, are they good for me or to even associate with or even have a conversation with? And I guess I'm getting more of, discerning of that, because I've had many people in my life that aren't, and you recognize it and you can relate or see that. So that's my take. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Tatiana, do you have something, I think?
I really appreciate what, well, really what everybody's saying, but yeah, for me, it's a purity of heart, but also, like Natalie was saying, I think it was Natalie, really being mindful of like what we're taking, or Natalia, sorry, what we're taking in mentally and emotionally and opening up ourselves to, and food wise, I think those are like gateways to higher states of consciousness and purity, and also just, trying to have a sense of humor and compassion for ourselves, because there's a lot of temptation in our world too, and it's hard to constantly be, on the highest possible timeline there, especially with foods and things like that, especially for me, like one of the things I've recognized when my soul is feeling, missing my star family and what have you, is like, well, at least there's really good food here. So I'll be like making myself a good meal, or, maybe indulging in things that I shouldn't be. And there's this sort of battle of like, taking care of your emotions in the moment versus protecting your field for the long term, and holding out for the higher timeline and trying to hold that healthier version of yourself. So I guess for me, it starts in the very 3D grounded physical way. And I think those things really have an impact on our higher consciousness and our mood and our emotions and our ability to connect to the pineal gland and open up and keep those channels really clean.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for all the shares. Back to the slides here. Yeah, it was really interesting to me too to channel that, because when I channeled it, I mean, I know what my version of purity is, but everybody has their own version of purity. So when I shared it with a couple of my peers, we all had different things when it came to, okay, well, this is where I should put my focus on when it comes to purity. If the channel is saying the importance, the emphasis is on purity in this time period that we're in right now, as we're calling in these highest golden crystalline and above crystalline architecture templates as well. All three of us had kind of different versions of that, which is okay. The energy channels too. So this kind of maybe Tatiana could talk a little bit about this too. She knows all about the different meridians. But what I'm seeing coming in and what we're channeling is that there's new. It's like, it looks light blue to me, but these meridians, there's new channels opening up. I think I'd shared before where it was mostly like down the central spine, like this central column of light. Now it's kind of, I'm seeing it as like almost two central pillars through the energetic body. It doesn't look the same in everybody. That's just how I've seen it, and other people may see it differently. We've talked about the golden spine some. Some people are talking about the golden spine. What I'm seeing is basically the spine itself, like golden or light blue, surrounded by these crystalline channels on both sides. So almost like if you picture the riverbed of a stream, but surrounded by crystalline architecture on both sides. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes the energy meridians in the body look much more like two highways, essentially. Light blue typically, but not always. Sometimes it comes through as like golden white light. As you're anchoring in these templates too, one thing that I do feel the need to say is avoiding plant medicine while you're in ceremony or while you're calling in these energy templates. And there's two schools of thoughts on this. So of course, use your own discernment. And again, this is my channeling, so you can take it for what it is. Depending on which plant medicine, because everybody has their own version of like plant medicine, you know what I mean? Mainly it's around distortion, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's one thing if you're doing, say, something like that's very like earthy and very like plant-based, and it's another thing where you're doing something that's a little bit more manufactured and calling that my plant medicine, because people call plant medicine anything, you know what I mean? So I'm just recommending to avoid plant medicine while you're in these ceremonies calling in these templates. I'm not saying you have to, but that's my recommendation, purely to help avoid any distortion, illusion, confusion. And then one thing too about hot springs in particular. So this may feel like a little niche, but I'm basically stating this for a very specific reason. I had some friends who visited a hot spring, called in a template, and they got basically an unharmonized version of a template that came in. Wasn't fully harmonized, and I won't go into the details of why or how or what it looked like or anything like that, because we love stories and we love to attach to stories. But what it boils down to in hot springs and boils is like water holds frequency and energy. So some of the hot springs are more pure than others, and some people do stuff in hot springs that isn't pure. So, you know, I'm not going to put two and two together, but they were essentially in a hot spring. It's called in a template. I run into them 2, 3, 4 days later, and there's an unharmonized template in their field, and I'm like, what happened? And then that's basically what we came to. So, Tatiana, do you want to talk anything about like any of your meridians or energetics, or anybody want to talk about specifically like meridians and the energetics of the body?
I really want to share with you guys when I come back. I'm about to do a week of esoteric acupuncture in Tucson from April 28th to May 4th. And it's all based on these grid patterns that one particular teacher has kind of channeled through deep meditation for many years, and written about 8 books on. And I think you guys would really love the encoding patterns, because they are off of the physical body, and you do the acupuncture into the body, but you're doing these really beautiful sacred geometry patterns that are bringing in new higher frequencies into the body. So yes, there are these meridians. That's a very simplified version of the meridians, but there are new schools within acupuncture, and acupuncture is always, Chinese medicine has always been about different lineages. There's 5-element theory and many different theory, lineages that have come from different masters, and people have apprenticed with these different styles over hundreds of years. But this new style is the one that really resonates with me the most, and is in the most alignment with everything that we're talking about and doing. So let me see if I can add any points into the chat. I just did a 3-hour course yesterday. I'll see if I can drop some things in, but it's using these 3-6-1 patterns. Everything is sort of triangles, and the fire triangle and the water triangle, the upper facing triangle and the lower, and tetrahedrons and octahedrons, and I'll see if I can link them. But yeah, I think even 2,000 to 3,000 year old medicine is evolving with the changes that are occurring on the planet now. So it's just really exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you could drop it in, or you could also drop it into the Telegram too, if you want to do it that way. Either way, or we can do both. This is basically the last slide. I just wanted to, our sister Sharon put this really cool set of codes that she channeled. Light codes channeled for this. It was a block of text. I couldn't paste the whole block of text in there, but I gave you the short version: Mother DNA language, angelic human DNA. It's like basically a little paragraph, and she used that paragraph to basically channel kind of this set of codes and images on the left here. So I just wanted to kind of close it out and open it up for everybody. If you guys have anything that you want to share, feel free to unmute. If you want to talk about walk-ins, walkouts, new templates that you're anchoring, stuff that you're calling in, yeah, feel free to unmute and share. If you want to share light language or codes or feel free to go for it. I feel like somebody has something that's coming through. I can always do it, but I like to hear somebody else's voice.
I have a question on the walkouts. I want to see if maybe this experience was a walkout for me. Maybe you guys can help me figure it out. Because everyone, when they were sharing it, really, I was very thankful for. I mean, Glenn, that was your experience was really touched me, and everyone's shares, like, it helped me remember that I think I've had it happen to me in the past. And I guess also current, right? But because of the layers. But I remember in the past, I was in, this is many years ago, I was in a very deep agony and pain and going through it. It was a time in my life when I knew I needed to start a spiritual path and leave my childhood upbringing of religion upbringing behind and just start following soul. What was that? Was someone saying something? Should I keep going? What happened is, I remember, this was years ago, I remembered consciously telling my soul that I wanted to bring it to the driver's seat of my life, and ego can take a back seat. And my body at that time, I mean, I was very intentional, and my body had a violent reaction. Like, I got immediately very physically sick and ran to the bathroom to throw up. It was such a physical reaction, like a fight back of my own ego self. And then it did feel really good after, of like, okay, my soul's in charge from now on. And it is still a process, like, not one and done thing, like you guys were saying. And what was it, Vincent saying, it happens in layers. Like, I guess, like, learning to coexist with ego and thanking it. And I agree, it's like to integrate it, ego and soul, light and dark, or whatever, shadow self with our higher self, so to embrace it. So I guess, I need some help or feedback of, would that be considered a walkout experience for me? What do you guys think?
Sorry, Adrian. I was didn't realize I was off mute when I was listening to your share. And I think I caught most of it, but I've certainly had those same kind of experiences where, like, your heart and your mind are not quite coherent yet, and you want to make a move, but the fear body, and there's so much intense resistance. Kind of like we were talking about earlier in the call, and that nausea, and it's like a gateway we're having to move through, to move past that intense fear, and kind of listening to what's coming in, and trusting, and aligning with your soul. I mean, it sounds like a really powerful experience, a powerful knowing.
I really wanted to add that the way you asked the question, um, was like don't don't give the power to identify that to us. Like we can give feedback, but you know your experience, and yeah. So just maybe I'm talking. Can you please give me a minute? I was interrupted multiple times while you were speaking, and I wanted so hard to hear what you were saying. But first it was my son, then it was my husband, then it was like, okay, this is like on purpose, I think. And it's like as you finished it and you said that again, like, what do you guys think? I think it's totally a normal thing to ask that and to want feedback, especially when we don't even know what words to apply to what and what to call. Oh my goodness. Like when I first heard the term soul walk out, I was like, yeah, oh my God, that makes so much sense. And it wasn't that long ago. And as I reflected on it, I feel like there's been multiple experiences that have been coming up for me like that was okay. Yep, okay. And yeah, so I really would still love to hear your story another time. Um, but just that, like, and if it feels right for you, cool. And if it doesn't feel quite right for you, cool. Like we'll feel our way. We'll feel our way. Yeah. And thank you for sharing. I'm sorry I missed so much of it.
Oh, no, that's really interesting because it did help me realize, like, as everyone earlier was sharing that, because there's so many like definitions of the words, even, higher self, source, like there's so many words people can use and walk in, walk out. Like it's what defines it for ourselves. Like, yeah, I'm loving that we can bounce it off each other, but then it's like, thank you, Christina, for like reminding me of you define it for yourself. What was that experience for yourself? And
You are
I can,
sovereign.
yeah, like it's like own our own soul giving us these experiences, whatever we want to call them or label them, or yeah. So thank you for that, and I
You're
can tell
welcome.
you about it another time. I
That
don't have
sounds
to,
awesome. But I will also
because it,
say, well, I did hear a little bit about like history with organized religion, and one of the first
yeah,
things they do is be like, you're inherently lacking. You must look to this authority
yeah,
for your answers. And just that's to say that, like, yeah, no, I got
yeah,
kicked out of your group for a reason because I asked a lot of questions. And
yeah.
yeah, so that it makes a lot of sense hearing that question. And like, because I still have it come up for me too, that it's like, it's not like when I feel, I don't know, it's something in the tone, or it's like, ooh, that sounds like more than I'm asking for, more than like validation, or like, hey, like, how does this bounce off you? Like, I say this, you experience what, that I'm just asking somebody else to almost like define my experience. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a dangerous thing to
Yeah,
do with the wrong people.
yeah,
There are plenty of people who they're so, anchored into their reality and what is right to them, that they don't see anything wrong with stepping over and be like, oh, well, let me tell you what you really feel or what's really going on here. Like, yeah, I feel like those are kind of related. And so, yeah,
thank
safe
you.
space though. This is a safe space, and everybody here is gonna, reflect that love, and that, yeah, you're sovereign, you're powerful. You get to say, and I'm complete.
Yeah, that's a really great point, Christina. Thank you for mentioning that. I just wanted to share one last thought when we were, when Vincent was sharing and we were kind of sharing different stories, experiences that we're going through, something that I experienced a couple decades ago that really made an impact on me during a pretty profound meditation and challenging.
Oh no, did we lose Tatiana? Darn it.
Whoa, what just happened?
We lost her. She'll come back, I hope. I think she probably got clicked off or something. It was like profound, and then it was like click. Like Spirit hung the phone up, or her thing
Yeah, it
crashed
felt
out.
like we were getting into like some real and raw vulnerable share, and then her voice just stopped. And I'm like, oh no, did I hit something? Because I was adjusting my screen, and no. I mean, yes, it's all divine. I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm sure she'll hop back on in just a minute. Hopefully she'll see that it dropped her. But and we can hang out for her share too. Yeah, that's. I try to, like, when I bring the information forward, I'm trying to bring to our community. I'm very straightforward. It literally says right on the very top of the slide that this is channeled, and all of the channelers will tell you, because I watch a couple of them, like Alunya, Lee Harris are like two of the main ones that I watch who channel, and they're really resonant with me. But like, not everybody's channeling resonates with one another. You know what I mean? So I just try and bring to our community, like, I'm taking kind of a pulse of a range of people that I'm connected to, or that send me messages, and we all have similar themes that are happening, and there she is. All right, perfect. We're ready for your share. We were really excited and sucked in.
Sorry, that was really bad timing. So something that I experienced was this. I was going through a particularly rough time and had a particularly profound cry, like the kind of cry that you were talking about having just the other day, Glenn, where you're just bawling. And it was like taking a wet washcloth and just wringing it dry from every possible drop of emotion that could be inside your body. And Spirit just showed me this image that in our chest cavity, like in the heart area, as we experience emotions, um, it's almost as if there's this vase. It looks like a Greek amphora, like one of these hourglass kind of clay pots. And every experience that we have, good, bad, painful, what have you, just increases the what's being filled in this vase, and the vase is expanding and expanding and expanding, and it's holding more and more and more experience until the body becomes so sort of burdened with this density, um, but yet the experience is expanding this capacity in this area to hold. And that when we are able to allow ourselves to grieve really completely, like to the like wrenching the deepest part of emotion out of our body that we can, it empties out the vase, that vessel. But instead of being empty, it's created this space that then the light from the heart just shines through. And I had this awareness that we go through these cycles in life where we're either filling the vase and we're creating this space, building and spreading out this area, and then we have a period where we need to empty it. And every time we empty it, we're expanding, we're cleansing, we're clearing, we're purifying, and allowing that your light to shine through our heart. And it's this most intense relief and connection back to the heart center again. But I feel like right now we're in this cycle where we've had all of this density that's been accumulating in the heart center for like decades. And sometimes it's hard to tap into the emotion of grief, to allow ourselves to cry, to have this wonderful experience of this catharsis of releasing and pouring out, emptying this vessel. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I sometimes I have a hard time crying. I have a hard time like emoting these days because of like the hardness that I was talking about that happens. But if we have like Vincent with this robin, like if there's something in your life that allows you to tap into grief, like dive into it. Like it's the biggest gift in the world. Like watch a sad movie. Like I'm not saying wallow in it and become depressed for weeks on end, but like if you can tap into something that really allows you to profoundly grieve, I mean, that's what I feel like I'm kind of on the brink of, is just another one of those experiences where there's just this incredible emptying and then the heart just beams this radiant light through it. So if we can find those moments of grief, just jump into it and ride the adventure. I'm complete.
Oh yeah, thank you for that share, and I love that you okay, whoa, a lot of download all these. Please drop these into our Telegram too, if you don't mind, so that we can all really it's kind of like our vaults where we put all of our images. I try to upload them all, but I often forget to. I like what you shared too about not able to always like cry or get yourself there too, because of kind of the hardness. And I find myself struggling with that at times, you know, where it's like, yeah, that was a great visual with the bass too. I love that. I do find myself not able to cry. Like I'll be on the brink of like emotion, and I'm a double water sign, so I'm a very emotional guy. Like I have big feelings, you know, and I'm exceedingly sensitive, and being exceedingly sensitive hasn't always felt really great in my life, because there are often, like I spent my whole life in the military, so there's at no point can you be a sensitive dude in the military, you know what I mean? But now that I'm out, and it's been a while for me, I'm able to get myself there a lot more, and I've worked really on the heart wall itself, taking down, you know, and I've spent the last couple years actually like in my heart, basically, to get myself to the point where now, like I said last night, I literally, like I was feeling very emotional, I pulled a card and I sobbed, bro. I sobbed so hard. I haven't sobbed like that. I can't even tell you. It's been years since I sobbed like that, and it was that walkout that was really ready to kind of like let go, you know what I'm saying? It part of it was like mourning that part too, and part of it was like just the emotion of being in that heart. And we talk about our heart resonance field here with our community, but I do resonate with what you say, like you know, as a masculine, as a man, it doesn't need to be a man or masculine, but like it's difficult for us to really show that emotion. Somebody literally told me the other day, I was telling them a story about how I've been crying, or there are times when I cry, like all this is happening by myself in my channeling sessions where I can get myself there. And then her reply was, well, I've never like seen you cry. So it was this kind of comment where it's like, I see you, but also like I've never seen you. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I took it as like it was a loving comment, but it's that kind of thing. It's like this programming that we're all just showing up the most aligned version that we can. And that's why I love our community deeply, because we can be vulnerable, we can be open. This is safe, sacred space that we hold for one another. And to me, it's very sacred, and it's very loving, and it's very nurturing. And I just love you guys so much, and not just in words, but like in the embodiment of every single aspect of that love. So Thank you. Does anybody else have a share before we have to close it out here? You said, I believe I was experiencing that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that was interesting because before I get into this call, Christina and I, we were connecting, and I was experiencing when she brought up this soul walkout. I was not realizing what I was going through, but it was in a different way, in a different realm. Mine was hitting my heart a lot more instead of right here, right? It's right in my heart center. And it has to do with divine union, with the divine counterpart. And me realizing of I never took the time to myself. I just come back to myself to finally have that clarity. It hits me in such a way, in a profound way, that my cry, it was held back. And then when it comes out in stages. And it's not, I feel there's still some things left to release. It's just that last part of the knot. You know, like you have like different knots, it's like the prayer knots. You get to release them one by one, unbraid them one by one. And this going through that, he's like, how we can use the meeting. It's like, I haven't been to the meeting for a while. I haven't seen you guys in a while, but I've always weaved in some way or form. And like, yeah, probably because this hits me in a way. When I look at the PDF, like, yeah, I think this makes sense. So I'm just showing gratitude to all of you, to you, Glenn, to have holding the space. And I share this heart mudras because I feel we can use that at this moment to go back to our heart center, to our higher heart, and to tap into our true self. Who are we without these community, without each one of us? Who are we individually? Can we define that in our heart center? Can we say, I am this? Can we truly say that and believe it with our whole being? And with that, I'm complete. Thank you.
Yay, thank you, family, so much. So happy to see you. So grateful for every single person here, every person weaving with us on the astral, quantum, collective, and the telegram, calling this session into full integration and completion for the now moment. Tomorrow we'll have stream of consciousness at normal time, where it's 100% channel call. But I just want to say how grateful I am for every single person here. I understand that right now it's been tough. Not everybody has capacity. And I am definitely missing our brothers and sisters who just don't have that capacity in the now moment to join us. Sending you so much love. Feel free to unmute, and we will see you very soon.
Love you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mahalo.
Bye.
Thank you,
Mahalo
Glenn. Thanks, everyone.
for showing up and being so real. I just really appreciate you guys.
All right. Take care. See you later, Vincent. Bye-bye.